Hello and welcome to your next math lesson. Go ahead and take out your math notebook, open up to the next available page, and at the top write the title of today's lesson, which is Estimate Quotients. Okay, we already know that the word estimate, when you estimate, you're finding an answer that isn't the exact answer, but it's about the same as the exact answer, or it's close to the exact answer. And people estimate all the time, anytime they don't need exact numbers. So if someone said, about how many people are in that football stadium, you might say, oh, it's about 5,000. It's not exactly 5,000. It might be 4,392. But they say about 5,000 because they don't know the exact number and because it's not really that important to know the exact number. So anytime you see the word about or the word estimate, you know you can round in order to find a number that's about the same as the exact answer. So we're estimating quotients. A quotient is the answer to a division problem. So we've done an estimating lesson with multiplication. Now we're going to do an estimation lesson with division. Let's start with some notes. You can estimate quotients by rounding to find compatible numbers. Let's take a look at some examples. Let's say we had 635 divided by 8. Okay, this is not something we can do in our heads. But if we don't need to know the exact answer, we can round in order to make the numbers more compatible, and then we can do this using mental math. And that's one of the main reasons people use estimation, is because when you don't need the exact answers and you don't want to sit down and actually figure out the exact answer with paper and pencil, and you don't need to, it's better just to round the numbers so that way you can figure it out quickly using mental math. I just realized my picture's covering up part of the note. So those notes were, you can estimate quotients by rounding to find compatible numbers. So let's go ahead and do that here. 635, I see that the 63 part, the 63 in 635 is close to a number that's compatible with 8. It's close to 64, and 8 times 8 is 64. So if my 3 here, if the 3 in the tens place asks the 5 for a raise in the ones place, the 5 says yes. So this changes to so this 3 changes to a 4, and the 5 becomes a 0. So we've rounded 635, we've rounded the tens place up to a 4, and now we have 640 divided by 8. And we can just focus on this 64 and this 8 and leave the 0 part of the number out for now. 64 divided by 8 is 8. And then we can take the 0 from the dividend and just drop it into the quotient. That's how we can do that using mental math. Let's do another example. Let's say we have 545 divided by 5. So again, I'm going to look at just the 5 here. 5 is definitely a compatible number with 5 because I know 5 times 1 is 5. And I can also see that I can round this. I can have the 5 ask the 4 for a raise. The 4 says no because it's not a 5 or more. So this 5 stays the same and all the rest of the digits become 0. Now I have 500 divided by 5. And I can just focus on the non-zero parts of this division problem. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and then I can just take these 2 zeros in my dividend and I can drop them into my quotient. So 500 divided by 5 is 100. So that means 545 divided by 5 is about 100. Not exactly, but 100 will be close to the exact answer. Let's do another example. Let's say we had 431 divided by 2. This up a little bit. Now, 431 divided by 2, you probably can't do that in your head, but I know I can see that 4 is a compatible number with 2. And if the 4 in the hundreds place asks the 3 in the tens place for a raise, the 3 says no. So this 4 in the hundreds place stays the same, and the tens place and the ones place become zeros. Now I have 400 divided by 2, and I can just focus on the non-zero parts. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and I can take these 2 zeros from my dividend and drop them into my quotient. And so 400 divided by 2 is 200, which means 431 divided by 2 is going to be about 200. Not exactly, but it's going to be somewhere in that ballpark. Okay, let's do another example together. Let's say we have 395 divided by, no, I didn't. Let's say we have 395 divided by 4. Okay, now I can see that, 39 is not a very compatible number with 4, but it's only one away from 40, which is a compatible number with 4. And if this 9 asks the 5 for a raise, the 5 says yes, which makes that 9 become a 10. So the tens place becomes a 0, and we add 1 to the hundreds place, and the hundreds place becomes, the 3 becomes a 4, the 5 in the ones place becomes a 0, so 395 rounds to 400 divided by 4. And I can either think of it this way: 40 divided by 4 is 10, and then I add this 1 0 from the dividend into the quotient, or I can think of it as 4 divided by 4 is 1, and then I add these 2 zeros into the quotient. Either way, I get the same thing. Okay, it's time for your independent work after I've done those examples with you. So for your independent work, I would like you to do these two. I want you to find an estimate answer, find an answer that's about right for 364 divided by 9, and for 584 divided by 6. Okay? Round to find compatible numbers. Think of fact families. To find answers that are about the same as or close to what the exact answers would be. And then watch the next video to see if you got these two correct. Okay? And I will catch you guys next time.